Is my screen visible? It's loading.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope my.
It's loading.
Thank
It's
you.
visible now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's just have a quick reflection of last 2 days. So day one, we spent a lot of time in problem discovery process. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time in terms of idea generation, that, how you need to work on your research topic and framing your problem correctly so that you can move in the right direction of writing and publishing the paper, which is patentable and have the commercialization capability towards the end, and how do you validate your research area. So today we'll to move towards the final stage of protecting and creating an impact. So how do you protect your idea which you kind of present in your research paper? So patents we discuss today. Would you like that, just publishing the paper or just filing the paper and get the filing the patent and just getting the grant and then you just enjoy that? Why don't you get into the mindset of creating something impactful for the society which has the commercialization capability also? So why not when you're invested a lot into it, why not make it a commercially viable research activity? So as we all know, research creates knowledge, innovation creates application. Patents give the protection towards your idea. So the role of patents is just to give a protection towards the idea, and then the impact creates the transformation. So that's what I'm expecting from all of you, that this sort of a wish list you should have in your mind. So let me just quickly ask you something. Just wanted to know from you that since you all are from the faculty fraternity and the research background, what do you think what happens to most of the researchers after publication? So this will give me good insight of where you all are sitting and where the mindset is, currently moving in, and how can we create a change in the mindset when you're talking about the research publication. So just you can just scan this Menti code and start sharing your responses, because this will help us evolve what we'll discuss today. Because today what we are going to discuss is going to be really impactful, and that's how the education industry is evolving from the last 5-10 years, and that's where I hope your leadership is wanting you to grow in the age of AI, when it's not a rocket science to write a research paper and get it published. So where universities and your leadership is wanting to you to reach. So I wanted to understand from you and take you all uh, to that stage actually, that stage in journal. So you just have to give your response. So no brainer here. Request. Uh, I really request maximum of you to give your response. It you may not know, but just give your thought process, because you're from this background. So I'm asking a question which belongs to your background. Just start scanning this code quickly. Only 3 people have scanned the code at least. Just I'll request you to please rush up in terms of scanning the code and keep sharing your get cited occasionally. Yeah. So this question and the next question I'm going to ask you is going to give a reality check in front of you only. And since we have a good about wide audience, you'll have a reality check through this question and be honest. And I request you to be honest while you answer. Whosoever has scanned the code, most of you have responded. So I've got 7 responses. I request others to please scan this code. We have more than 50 people in this audience. So at least we should have 15 responses. Please keep scanning this code. Let us least 3 more people. At least we should have 10 responses out of 50 people here. Can we have 4, 5 more participants? It's no brainer. Just a code scan and your response. That's it. Just give 1 more minute to this question. Request few more participants to respond on it. You all are just empathize with me. You all are educators, and I am also the educator to you today. So the feels great when you get responses from your audience. So since we've been talking a lot on empathy in the last 2 days, and it's day 3, so let's empathize and have never implemented. So we have good at least 10 responses we have got. So if you look at this bar chart, it gives you a very nice reality check that most of the research is only staying in journals. It's occasionally getting cited, and it is never implemented. So out of the 11 responses, none of you have responded that might either has become policy or a practice, or it turned into a product or a startup. So that's where, from our country perspective, we see how poor we are, how poor we are. So great, I'm getting more people scanning the code, and we have now 14 responses. So it's shocking to see, but it's the reality check that, um, we are not investing our energy. So while you're doing your research, you are investing your energy, you're investing your time, you're investing your resources, but it is not giving you any commercial result. Not only to you personally, but also to the overall society, to the industry, to the education industry, and not only and not at all to the society. So that's the reality check we have in front of us. If I ask you this question, what is your aspiration for your research after publication? I'm not talking about infrastructure availability or whatever. I'm just asking you your wish list. What is your aspiration from your research? What will you say? Very good. Oh, you just want to keep it in journals. So somebody is just happy by keep it in journals or becomes product startup. Yeah. get cited. So citations we are looking for. Okay. So 70 people scanned the code and still people responding. So from 13 responses, if you compare these two graphs, they look absolutely opposite. So the aspirations are not matching up to the reality. And where we left yesterday with were at the dot puzzle, wherein I urged you to move to think out of the box, to move out of your comfort zones. So start moving. If we all as researchers start moving from away from our comfort zone, start thinking out of the box, this graph can turn into this, right? So what do you think that why do many innovations never become impactful? What is the reason? So I've just taken down five, six categories of reasons. You may have something else, but if you can just quote what is the reason that you're not able to create the impact? We are not aware. Awareness is a big thing. Weak industry connection. Yeah. And that is where I'll take you towards in the last part of my discussion today. How can industry academia connection help making innovations and research more impactful? And what is the role of universities? And how this collaboration has changed in the last 5 to 6 years? And what are the opportunities available wherein you can make your research and your innovative ideas impactful towards the society? Thank you for giving this response that you are really not aware. You feel that there is weak industry connection, lack of funding, yes, and lack of implementation, yeah. Because I very strongly feel that I've been working with a lot of academia and industry people, and also the role of the business incubators. And that's the university bridge. That's the university bridge which has been created between industry and academia so that we can make our innovations impactful. And how can you monetize from there? Because there was a monetization topic which came out in our discussion yesterday that maybe in terms of incentives and monetary benefits. So I'll also discuss those points today that how can you monetize on those parts. So I try to bring that awareness in our session today. Okay, great. Thank you. I think I've got at least 10 responses on this. And if you want to have more responses, so keep adding your thoughts here. So let's move on to our discussion. So what a typical innovation journey looks like. So we start with the right problem identification. Then we convert it into the right research topic and then framing the right research problem. And then we start writing our paper and, start identifying the innovation impact, what is the novelty into the idea, and then how can we move towards prototyping it. So if you are looking for, any policy implications. How can you present your paper to the decision making authorities that it becomes part of the policy. Like a lot of changes are coming in the from NEP 2020, new education policy 2020. So a lot of initiatives have been taken by from the educators. They have really got into and studied how the global education industry is evolving, and that's how these policies have been framed. And if I talk about, the business ideas and the product ideas, so you can collaborate and create the prototypes and look for the validations and then file for patent, IP, intellectual property, and look for then the industry collaborations or maybe peer collaborations, funding support towards the commercialization of your idea, which can further create the societal impact. So I will discuss primarily, so we have discussed till the validation part briefly in the last 2 days. Today I'll focus more on the patent and the commercialization part. So, as I was saying that, in today's era, the academic output expectations are evolving. So now, the expectation from universities, from the leadership, from the authorities, it has been moving ahead from traditional academic output of, just publishing papers, citations, and just presenting your papers in the conferences. They want you to emerge your research into the translation research, patents that should convert into the industry projects, funded innovation, startup ecosystem, and societal outcomes. So I think most of the colleges have now got the mandate to set up an institution innovation council (IIC). They are working aggressively in terms of improving their NIRF rankings. So if you move towards from traditional output to these emerging expectations, I think all this will contribute towards that innovation step which universities and colleges want you to take as the faculty. If we have to understand a patent, what is a patent? What does it protect? So patent is a novel solution. It can be a process, it can be a system, it can be a mechanism, it can be a method or a technical improvement. So when I say method, let's say if I take example of a cooking recipe. So one can patent a method of cooking. So that is also patentable. So patent is not for an idea alone. It is for a novel implementable solution. It's a very simple framework. So is it new? Inventive step? Is it not very obvious? And it should have some practical applicability, industrial practical applicability. So all these points, while you are filing for the patent, the reviewers are looking for. So let's come to an activity. Just kept it very simple. So I can see a lot of you, posting your thoughts in chat box also. So since my screen is on share, I'm not able to check your responses in the chat box. Um, Request if you can give your response in the Mentimeter or maybe just raise your hand and speak because it will be difficult for me to go through the chat box responses while I'll be sharing my screen. But thank you so much, whosoever shared their responses. That's also helpful. Just have a so what I have done is I've taken just random 6, 7 examples and given you um, a statement of an idea. Just give me your thought whether do you think this idea is patentable or not, and why. If you can just unmute yourself, you can spend some time here. and keep discussing. Online teaching platform. Somebody says yes. And you can disagree also. You can, some others can say no. You don't need to agree. Let's just have more responses, please. I've just got 4 responses. 19 people have already scanned the code. So let's have more and more of responses. At least 10 responses per question we could have. So you just have to say yes, no, unsure. That's it. You may be wrong because it's very subjective. It's okay. You're not judging. Anyways, when you share your responses, I don't know. It's all your responses are anonymous, so I don't get to know that who has said what. So just be open. Right. Just give me 1 more minute. Go ahead. You just have to answer yes or no. That's it. We have 72 people. So out of 72, only 4 have responded. So only 5% responses. At least we should keep our responses 10, 20%. What do you think? This idea is patentable or not? Online teaching platform. No worries, let's go ahead. So, most of you have said yes, but I kind of disagree on this one because it's a very generic thing, online teaching platform. So, if we talk from that perspective, I feel that it is too broad and not bringing any, I mean, it's not showing what kind of problem it is going to solve and any novelty factor. So that's okay. I would like to disagree here, but that's okay. So we'll go for the next one. AI detecting cognitive fatigue via eye movement. So there is a live class going on, and there is an AI system getting developed which is able to detect the fatigue amongst the participants via understanding their eye movement. What do you think? So, is this idea patentable or not? You're unsure. Okay. Mhm.
Hi,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, from my point of view, it is patentable, but we have to check if anyone has patented earlier or not. Like you have
Very good.
already told us yesterday
Hmm.
that it has already been patentable. So that's why I have marked unsure so that we can check that the parameter we are on basis of that we are getting the patent. It is patented or not, or is there
Very
anything
good.
which is novel into it?
Correct. Very good. Very good. So, that's a very good point. Can you please tell your name?
Ravleen Kaur.
Okay, Ravli, thank you. It's a great point which you just came out. So if we take your thought process, so very correct that, you're unsure. If we look from the statement perspective, it looks like a novel idea that, we can judge the fatigue, understanding the eye movement. But before filing a patent, you will also go and search on the available websites whether this the patent for this kind of an idea has already been filed. And then you check the details that what method they have proposed. Like for example, in this case, they might have been using some sort of facial recognition technology. But if you have some other sensor technology which you are using, let's say you don't call it eye movement, you kind of trying to understand the fatigue, looking at the changing color of the face. Let's say face turning red and people just not looking at the screen here and there. So those methods also you can see whether they have applied for specific method in terms of judging the cognitive fatigue. So in that way you can go deep dive and understand to what level I can file my patent. But that's a great point. Yes. Thank you for bringing this point. So we should have this kind of a discussion that will make our discussion really fruitful. Only three people have responded. I think I was getting good amount of responses yesterday. So let's be more active. You just have to say yes or no. You can also say unsure. That's okay. I'm moving to the next question because I have some good amount of content to cover. So I'll request you to be a little more fast. So next is, I just have two, three examples more. Motivational theory for education. Do you think this idea is patentable or this thought or um, is patentable? No. Good. Why do you say so? If you can unmute yourself and discuss, why do you think that this is not a patentable idea?
According to me, only the methods and processes or anything that have innovative step can be patented rather than theories. Theories, I can
Yeah,
guess
and it
it
is a
can
very
be
general. Yeah,
it can fall under copyright rather than patents.
correct. Yes, yes, and it is very abstract also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Let's have 1 more minute. Just think about it. If you want, you can do a bit quick research. Do you think this is patentable or not? So, and share your responses. At least have five responses per question.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a
Yeah,
query.
yeah.
Like it is talking about motivational theory that has already been published somewhere and all, and it was established. But if in case that while we are researching,
Mm-hmm.
doing our research papers and all, and we create a new theory, so
Correct.
how can we get it patent copyright under it?
So you will have to specify your theory, your process, your method. So if you are kind of inventing a new motivational method towards education, which nobody has thought so far, so you will have to kind very specifically mention why you will be filing the patent. So, in your title, you need to be very specific. When you write your abstract, wherein you give the summary, so be very specific that you have kind of identified a new motivational method, new psychology backed method, and give very detailed background and description around it, so that your your topic gets qualified towards patenting. Let's say if you kind of bring it out as a new method and nobody has filed for it, and it is going to create a good impact in the psychology department, and so of course you will get the patent. So it should not be abstract. It has to be backed by the facts. So you definitely can go for this. So if you write it, let's say, novel motivational method, and in bracket, you can just briefly mention in 1 or 2 words, impacting the educational field or university teachers or students. So I think that will qualify in that category.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next question. Low cost biodegradable packaging material. So somebody has identified a new type of packaging material which is biodegradable, which can be in any form and factor. You can, mention it in your abstract very clearly, and you can highlight all your findings and probably any chemical formula or something like that. And if it is low cost, it can impact the society at large. So this will definitely qualify towards patentable idea. Attendance management mobile app. And so on. So if I look at this response, I've got a very uh, distributed response, and I can understand why. So if I kind of frame it in this manner, novel attendance prediction algorithm using behavioral analytics. Yes. If you compare this from this, that's what you also please share your response. If you want to disagree, I think that will help us get into some sort of discussion mode. So go for that. But that's okay. So at least have some responses. Then we have 2, 3 more responses here. No worries. Let's move on to our discussion part. So this is a very uh, good structured patent thinking framework for you researchers. So most of the points we have discussed. So I just wanted to recap here. We should observe what problems exist. We've been discussing a lot on this point, and empathy plays a big role here. Inspiration and empathy plays a big role here that we should observe around, in our surroundings that what kind of problem exists, and because problems will give you the novelty of ideas. Then we should identify the gap that, from wherever we have taken the inspiration for our research, what remains unsolved. So that if, something is really unsolved, that will have a that will have a clear patentable opportunity because the solution of course, if the problem is unsolved, the solution which you are going to propose towards it has a very higher chance, would be very novel and unique. So if your gap identified is unsolved, the solution which you are going to be proposing is definitely going to be unsolved. So try to identify the unsolved problems. So don't try to copy the problems which are already existing. I know you'll get already available literature. So don't fall into that kind of a trap. Try to identify new problems so that you are able to draft a good solution towards it. Most of the people are trying to solve the already solved problems and just bringing novel ideas towards solutions, and that is where they get stuck because somewhere or the other you will find that you may have certain overlaps in the solution which you are presenting. So what happens is when your publication goes to in the examination stage, you get lot of objections. Of course, you will be going through the rounds of clarifications and modifications. But if the area you have identified is unsolved, then the chances and the quantity of getting objections would minimize. That would minimize. Create novel solution. What is new? So if even if then if you are still going to for a problem which is already solved, of course your solution needs to be very novel. It has to have a novelty factor. Implementation, can it function practically? So don't try to propose the thought processes which are practically not possible to implement. So then in that case, it is very difficult to get the patent because then it will just stay, as just a paper. So uh, the reviewers, when it goes into the examination stage, they're really looking for the functional practicability of the idea. Differentiation, what makes it unique. So novelty brings the new factor. What is new? But differentiation means how it is unique, how it stands out. What is the USP? And protection. Can it become IP? So this is a very simple framework which you can think while you are filing for the patent. So many faculty already have patentable components hidden inside the research, but they are publishing before identifying the protectable innovation. So don't publish, before you file for your patent. So try to identify the protectable innovation layer in your paper, and even before it gets published, just file the patent. Just file the provisional patent. At least it will safeguard your idea for future. You may get or you may not get the patent. You may be granted patent or you may not be granted patent. That's a different story altogether. But before your paper get published, I suggest you to at least file for the provisional patent. So just wanted to somebody is unmute. I request you to mute yourself. There's some disturbance coming. So just wanted to discuss one or two case studies with you, how the ideas from research goes to patent and what kind of impact it has created in the society. Have you heard of Jaipur Foot? It's a not for profit entity in Jaipur, um, run by a sanstha called Shri Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti. So they offer limbs free of cost to the people who have lost their limb in any accident or so. And the whole ecosystem is running on the donations. It got born out of a real problem faced by Dr. D.R. Mehta. He met with an accident and he came up with this idea of Jaipur Fort. So it's a fusion of all the prosthetics, uh, which that time were not. So it started from 1975. And by today's date, I think they have offered at least 2.5 million free limbs across. I think they're global as well now. They're operating across 44 countries. So they give limbs, crutches, sticks, braces, tricycles, wheelchair, hearing aids, and surgery. So I was listening to Dr. D.R. Mehta. So what he was, in one of his videos, he was telling is that they started with offering the affordable prosthetics to people who belong to low income families or middle class families. And after people lose their limb, they become unemployable. So what they are offering as a complementary part is that they offer employability kit also. Like one can go and set up the tea stall because these are workers who are coming from villages or those kind of areas. So they get unemployed after they lose their limb. So those kind of societal impact ideas they have worked on. So that's not part of their research. There was offering the employability kits, but the affordable prosthetics born out of that research idea. During COVID, we could see a lot of ventilator related innovations. So it was an urgent problem. There was a lot of interdisciplinary collaboration. People worked on low cost designs. So there were multiple global patents which got filed because it was an urgent problems. And so urgent problems create innovation and opportunity. So right now, uh, can somebody tell what is the current crisis in the country right now? Current crisis in the country. We all watch news. You can just unmute yourself and share. Anjali says crude oil. Yes. Availability of fuel is the biggest crisis our country is facing. And that is where a lot of innovators have jumped in to create alternate sources of energy. So there's a huge talk going on around huge investments coming in around electric vehicles. Government is pushing to buy electric vehicles. Then there are policy changes. Government is urging to use public transportation. So all these problems are the problems which are very easily available to us, but we just ignore. So urgent problems, I would say, or urgent and recent problems, I would say, urgent and recent problems which can create an impact on society at a large. That is a category which can create novelty, which can create uniqueness, which can create a huge societal impact. So try to take inspiration from these kind of problems. Right? So I just drafted this patent opportunity canvas, which takes care of the possible thought process in a very structured format. So try to use this template. It's a very structured template which can help you structure your thoughts. Problem identified. What are the current limitations? What solution you are proposing? Let's say, let's just start discussing. Let's say problem identified is traffic congestion. So please keep popping your answers in between. I'm taking the inspiration of a problem called traffic congestion. So how can we solve the problem of traffic congestion in peak hours in working day in metro cities, right? Or let's say Bangalore. How can we solve the traffic congestion in Bangalore during peak hours in working days? Let me also write it on a sheet of paper, or maybe let me just a second. Let me keep writing here. Okay. What are the limitations we can think of? Let's say not very good public transportation available. So this is a limitation. Let's say we assume that there is no good public transportation available. What all can be? People using four-wheeler for single person. Hmm. Then I have one more two thought process. What are the limitations? Why there is a problem of traffic congestion? People are going to offices using their four-wheelers. Public transportation अच्छा नहीं है. Not good roads. So these are the limitations which
Less
can help
metro
you in
connectivity.
less metro connectivity, which can qualify in our public transportation point, but at least I'm writing. Okay. So in a way, we can say that, there's no good public transport, metro connectivity अच्छा नहीं है, roads are bumpy or always somewhere on the other road, some sort of construction work is going on. So most of the roads are used in those construction points. People are using four-wheelers for single person travel. So let's say the proposed solution I have, I'm moving a little fast here, but we could brainstorm more. And if you have any idea coming in your mind, we can think about that. Um, let's say we think about carpooling app. Okay. Can you think of something else? Mm, let's just jot down two, three ideas. Carpooling app. So that's a product idea I'm thinking. What all can be done to solve this problem? Mm, air taxis. So right now I'm thinking about something which is not novel. Let's think of a novel idea. How can we solve this congestion problem? Mm, what all can we think? Carpooling app, air taxi. So let's just assume that air taxi is a, just for the sake of our discussion for this session, air taxi is a novel idea. We zeroed down on air taxi. What is novel? Let's say air taxis running on solar energy. Do you think it is novel? One or two yes or no if I can get. Air taxi is running on solar energy. You create a taxi in a way that it is getting charged through solar energy. You can unmute yourself and just give me maybe a thumbs up or so, or just say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am, it would be a novel one.
Great. Thank you. So potential users would be daily, office, commuters, publication potential, yes. Patent potential is also yes. And possible impact, yes. Huge. Okay. So do you think it makes sense? Do you think if you structure your patent canvas in this manner, maybe we have not done any research, we don't have any facts, we're just working on our hypothesis, we'll do our surveys, we'll back it up with the facts, we'll do our interviews, we'll talk to the government authorities, we'll understand the infrastructure available. Do you agree here? So I'm assuming silence to be yes. Okay. So try to use this canvas. So just a final reminder. So next section, I'm going to discuss around the funding and commercialization opportunity and university incubators. So before we get into that section of discussion, I just would like to give you the final reminder of what we have discussed so far. So after this FTP, uh, I request and I believe that you will be identifying stronger problems You'll be pursuing interdisciplinary research. You'll think beyond the publications. You'll explore patents. You'll collaborate with industry, and you'll focus on the societal impact. So that's the message I want you to, take away after this FTP, right? Okay. So there was a question around funding as well in one of my class yesterday. So I'll just thought that I bring this point also in today's discussion. So that's the next set of discussion I wanted to keep around funding, incubation and research commercialization. So I've been associated with FITT, which is Foundation of Innovation and Technology Transfer, which is the incubation cell of IT Delhi, and it has been really, really active organization. It's a Section 8 company with IT Delhi and is active since 1992. And managing director, leadership, Dr. Nikhil Agarwal, and great startups we are getting. We are getting a lot of startups from professors. We are getting a lot of startups from the collaboration of professors and IT Delhi students. And it's not only uh, limited to IT Delhi, even outside people can also apply for incubation, but that's where, industry is heading towards. So that's one of the old institute, but now I think most of the universities are working in this kind of a direction. So before we move to our next section, I can see some of the responses. Ravleen, carpooling using public transport. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments in the chat. Work from home policy. So that's the policy impact which can be created. Odd even policy, public decrowd, public hassles, Paytm, digital money. Air taxis are especially used for airport commutes because airports are often far from city centers. Okay. So thank you for all these responses. Thank you so much. You could also raise your hand, speak up in the in the session. So that's okay. So before we move to this section, any thoughts, comments, feedback, any question you have, I'll be happy to take. Let's just spend 2-3 minutes on our open discussion. You can write your question in the chat as well. I can take up your question from the chat. I'll just give 1 minute here. If you have any question, just post in the chat. I'll take that up. Okay. So no questions. Let's move to our second section. University incubators. So this was the missing bridge so far. So when we were discussing the initial questions that, why the innovations or research are not creating any impact, most of you responded that there is a lack of awareness plus weak industry connection. So these 2 points got the maximum responses. So in order to counter this problem, university incubators got created. So what was happening was that universities are generating enormous knowledge, but very little research was reaching to the society in the usable form. So by creating this university bridge, which was a missing bridge, research papers got translated to patents, patents got translated to startups, and then startups created a huge society impact, right? So if we look how these university incubators are supporting the researchers, they identify the commercializable research. So this is the support they start giving at the very start. They support the prototype development. So if you get any time to visit any incubator, this is a good incubator. I work a lot here. So they have the whole ecosystem created here. So we have a medtech startup. They have all the facilities available, equipments, everything. Then very important is industry connections. So in university incubators, we work a lot with industry. So I was talking about the CSR funding. So a lot of industry, is coming to us. Like there is a Microsoft Unnati AI program running in, wherein they're betting 12 CR corpus for the starters, wherein they'll be investing 30 lakhs per startup. They have invested 12 CR. And then there is a Kotak program, which is roughly around 5 to 6 CR. Then there is IDFC program, which is again 10 CR. Then there is this Boeing program, IDEX program. So I'm talking about just the corporate incubation program. So these are pure corporate programs. And then there are multiple VCs who are also connected with us and really are interested in investing startups. So they have been actively approaching us and wherein they're looking for startups. So we keep setting up the demo day meetings and startups come and present their ideas and VCs are convinced they invest. And then there are government incubation programs which are run by DST, Nidhi, and Atal Innovation Mission. So IT Delhi has one branch in Sonipat, which is the Atal Incubation Center. So all these support systems we are getting. Then they help you in the patent identification. So we have a dedicated IP and patent team, which is headed by Dr. Namita Gupta, and which is one of the KRAs of incubators to hire a proper patent person who can help in patent identification and filing.
आपकी सिक्योरिटी बैग बता दीजिए
Can you please mute yourself
मैं
if
बोल
you're
दीजिए
not
कि तीन
asking
हम
the
फोटो
question?
ओके ओके
Thank you. And my got muted by somebody, but I've unmuted myself. Thank you. So funding support I just spoke about, and then there is innovation culture all through. So the mindset is all innovation here, and then translational research they are working on. So these are the key areas wherein university incubators are coming in, and they are giving real support to in-house research, and also they are opening themselves to the outside research translation. So the most meaningful research does not end at publication. It transforms into solutions that improve lives. So have I know that is why I asked that question. What is your aspiration? So you don't want to just keep your research, uh, you know, just just sitting in the library or just getting presented to any conference. You also want to convert it into a startup. You want to convert it into a policy because that's the pride you'll get. So we all have learned the Maslow hierarchy. So once we cover our basic needs, safety needs, security needs, we really look forward towards the esteem and actualization needs. So self-actualization will happen when your research will get into a solution which will create an impact in the society. So why is, there a change? Why universities are moving beyond publication? Why is there a lot of push that, you should go beyond, you should move out of your comfort zone? So earlier, used to stay till publications, citations, and conferences. Now there's a huge focus on patents, startups, incubation, industry collaboration, funded innovation, technology transfer, societal impact. Because from the Indian context, if I see and through my multiple conversations with various directors, one of the biggest responsibility they have is improve the NIRF innovation rankings. And that can only happen if you increase the quality and quantity of your patents. And if those patents get converted into funded innovation, any sort of industry collaboration or societal impact, that really, really create a huge impact in improving the NIRF rankings. Then there is a huge emphasis from NEP, new education policy. They've placed a huge emphasis on innovation. And in fact, somebody was telling me I've not met anyone from the school's perspective that the way universities are creating IICs, Institution Innovation Councils, even at the school level, there's a mandate to create school innovation council. So imagine from NEP, there's a huge, huge emphasis and focus on innovation that it is drilling down towards the school level. So universities have even more added responsibility. So the dream here is the future university is not only a teaching or a publishing institution, it is becoming overall an innovation ecosystem. And that is where, we all should target. Anyone wants to say something because you guys are very close to it. I play the role of bridge because I've spent 17 years in corporate. While sitting in corporate is very, you have all the resources available. It's very easy to create that kind of innovation. But from the university perspective, since there's a change, any thought you want to share that how this change is impacting you? Is there a push to you from the university side or your institute side? Ravleen or Kirti, you've been really active in speaking. If you would like to share your thoughts.
To be honest, from the university side, from government side, NEP policy has been created, and there
Mm-hmm.
is a push from government. But if we talk about institutions, but there is less of infrastructure that is available to the teacher as well as to the students. So although on
Okay.
just for NAC purposes and NRI, sorry,
NIRF.
NIRF ranking and
NIRF.
all, so for all those purposes, they have created labs and all, but just for showcasing them or to get the ranking. But if we talk about proper working, there is very less or very minute or very rarest of rarest universities or institutions are providing proper facilities or fundings regarding the same.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So
the
I think when in that case, yeah, I agree to you that IICs have to really work towards it because if we talk about the incubators of IITs and IIMs, they are doing fairly well. They like for example NSR cell of IIM Bangalore and FITT here. They have good infrastructure. They have good pipeline of funding. In fact, there are funds sitting idle, but we are trying. We are forcing startups to come in. But I think for tier two and tier three universities and colleges, they have to really invest on these areas because I agree to you that there's a mandate from the government, there's a push, but it's just that just to have rankings improved or maintained, they may be just doing it on paper. But I think we all have the shared responsibility. So why not start from there? So I asked you a question yesterday that why don't you write a paper on this topic that what is stopping the faculty from translating their research into patent and creating a societal impact. So it's a shared responsibility. So we'll all have to work together on that. So with that, but let's move ahead. So just wanted to show you some areas which I identified that, there are certain hidden opportunities, faculties sometimes where like if you're working on this few of the areas for technical people who are working in the technical domain. Like for example, if somebody is working on any AI algorithm, they have a full patent and SaaS startup opportunity. If somebody is working in healthcare research, they have medtech startup opportunity. I attended last year an event with the biotech department in IIT. It's called CBME, and I could see that in towards the end of the event, some of the students and professors, they were presenting their paper to industry, and very good ideas they were working on. And I have worked a lot in AI in healthcare, and they were working on AI in ophthalmology, AI for eye care, and they were working on really unique ideas. And they didn't know what's the impact, it 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 can create towards the industry. So there was an MD representing his company. He right away offered some sort of a scholarship or funding opportunity in that presentation. So sometimes these are hidden areas, so we don't know. So we should try start reaching out to industry. So we don't know uh, the hidden gems. If you're working on IoT research, you can have the smart device prototype opportunity. Sustainability, you can have the government grants because we also touched about the SDG goals. So there are a lot of funding around the SDG goals. So a lot of government grants available. And education innovation, if you're working, you can create an edtech platform. If you're working in agriculture research, there can be agri-tech commercialization opportunity. So, and if you're working for any process optimization, you can get into industry consultancy. So these are the hidden opportunities, faculties often miss. So you already possess some good startup ideas inside your publications, but just try to move out beyond your publications. This is the government funding ecosystem. So I already discussed how corporates are, betting their funding, but these are few government funding ecosystem. Uh, um, I am working closely with this BIRAC thing, BioNest, we call it here, wherein they are specifically looking for biotech, diagnostics, or medical device related commercialization funding. Then we have Nidhi programs, so they run multiple center of excellences. For prototypes, they have Prayas program, so it's from the Department of Science and Technology. Then we have Startup India Seed Fund. So Startup India next round of fund has been already announced by the government. Startup 2.0, Startup India 2.0. So they give grant up to 20L and then they give you 50L for scaling it. And under Atal Innovation Mission, we all know there are multiple, I think, Atal incubation centers running in. I know the reality may be very different, but yes, but at least something is there. The Atal Incubation Center of IT Delhi is very active. So we have the campus here in Sonipat, and our CEO, Mr. Alok Pandey, we've been working heavily around sports tech, and we are into fertilizer tech also. So really good ideas and startup ideas are coming in. So I was talking to Mr. Alok Pandey. He was suggesting me that they are really pushing the students that they start working on their startup idea from year one itself because they are BTech students, so they have like 3 to 4 years to fail and learn. So faculty is collaborating with those students and coming up with these startup ideas. So multiple student-led startups are emerging. Atal Tinkering Labs are working at school level and then deep tech funding via fund of funds. So here in FITT, we have IDEX program for defense tech. Then we have Boeing program for aerospace and also so climate tech for agri sustainability, we have multiple programs running in. So we can keep looking for all these programs and see how can we turn our publications into prototypes, patents, and then convert them into startups and commercialization possibility. This is the graph I just painted in terms of showing you how you can generate monetary opportunities for yourself. So you can get into patent monetization as well. So just patent your idea, patent your thought process, patent your methodology, patent your algorithm, patent your policy idea, and you can license it. So you can run on revenue royalties, you can do industry partnerships. So idea is yours and industry can do the scalability part of it. So you can keep getting the royalty. You can have startup equity also. You can be the dormant partner and just earn through startup equity. Uh, then you can do technology transfers. You can convert your academic research into product services, commercial technology through licensing, startup formation, industry partnerships. If you look at this circle, so uh, publications can give you reputation and ranking, but value creation will only come through when you do the tech transfer or do the industry projects, consultancy, startups, incubation. So start thinking in on these lines. So change your mindset and start thinking from these lines. So how incubators can help faculties? So these are the points that, yeah, since you are not connected to business, you'll have the mentorship opportunity. If you're not able to create the prototype, you can get technical support. I know if you're talking about the tier two and tier three, and if you're specifically talking about the IICs, you may not have that kind of a technical support. But if you really have a good idea, I suggest you to start filing your applications to good incubators. So they are not just limited to that specific university or college. They are open to outside applications as well. So if you don't have the industry access, they can offer you partnerships, grants, and seed support I just talked about. They really have established good patent teams. So here we have a really, really good patent team headed by Dr. Namita. So most of the good incubators have that. And you'll also have very good startup guidance. So here in FITT, we are running a 4 months program around pre-incubation and entrepreneurship, wherein giving the complete startup guidance in terms of how you should think like a business owner, how you should create your product, what all finance and legal aspects you should look at. So all those sort of guidance also incubators are offering. So that is not only limited to startups or students, the faculties are also welcome here. So that's the point I wanted to make that come out of your old identity of a teacher or a researcher. Your emerging identity is beyond teacher. You can be the innovator, you can be the mentor, collaborator, and the ecosystem builder. So next generation of impactful faculty will not only publish papers, they have a good potential of creating the solutions. So leave the journals and enter the society. Universities that combine research, patents, incubation, and industry collaboration will shape the future innovation economy. So that's the message I wanted to share with you. I'm happy to connect. If I also prepared few slides around the process of patent filing. So we have a bit of time available. We can discuss that as well. But before we get into the process of just going through the process of patent filing, I just would like to pause here because we spent a good amount of time on funding and incubation opportunities. And happy to take questions because I believe that this can be a new topic or a new area of interaction for you. So happy to take questions.
Hi, ma'am. Ravleen this side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm from the management background,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also teaching students who are into management only rather than
Okay,
tech and all.
okay.
So, ma'am, if we
Uh-huh.
want to create a research paper and go ahead with the patent filing and all, so how can
Mm-hmm.
we move forward in that direction?
So you want to know about the process of patent filing that I'll take up in my subsequent slides. But see, don't think that only technical people can file for the patent. If you are as a management professor and in collaborating with your students, so let's say which department you are catering to?
Ma'am, I'm catering to management department only. I am teaching
Uh,
students of BB and MBA.
okay, so you are teaching subjects like org behavior and management processes.
Yes, it is business policy and strategic management, international business.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
great. So these are also good topics. These are also good areas wherein you can study, certain areas around business management and identify the problems in these areas. So there are good research papers, good research opportunities in these areas also. But if you want to do something, beyond your area, I don't think there would be any problem. But your area is vast enough in itself. So you may not have any technical idea. I agree because your department is in that category. But you can think about patenting any method. Let's say, for example, I give you Porter 5 force model. So that was a unique model created by Porter that time. So if you think that, in our management area or strategic management area, I can really think of something which can bring revolution in overall strategy creation and business management in corporate. Why don't you do that? So, well, in that case, since you are teaching the students who would go and apply these methodologies in their corporate, so try talking to corporate people that what kind of problem they are facing. So all those teachings should not remain in books. So since the way, see, very good thought process here is the way we used to work in corporate 5 years back and the way we are working in corporate today has completely changed. Has completely changed the way we are dealing with Gen Zs. So in my time, 17 years back, my manager used to give me some work and we used to do that and the way, appraisals and all those things would used to happen. But today, right from the point of hiring a Gen Z resource and
Summer vacations are not just
getting the work done out of them is a big challenge. So that's a big research opportunity for you. So why don't you talk to some corporates and what kind of challenges they are facing in terms of dealing with Gen Zs. So we used in our times we used to study about carrot and stick approach and Gen Y approach and all those baby boomers management approach. Why don't you work around developing some sort of managing how to manage Gen Z? What are their concerns in corporate? So try to look for those areas and see if if you can create some framework. That will be really relevant for HR departments of corporate.
thank you so much, ma'am. And ma'am, you have
Thank
also
you.
told us about regarding grants from for SDG, Sustainable Development
Grants,
Goals.
yes, yes. Around sustainability, you will find grants both from the government side as well as from the corporate side because this is a huge area everybody wants to invest.
And ma'am, how can we approach them, or where
So
can we find those
university,
grants?
so those grants, so one area is that you can go to their website and they keep publishing the call for applications. And you can also this university incubator bridge, which I just discussed. So that's a good bridge between the researchers and the funding support.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question or thought you have? I can just then quickly take you through the patent filing process and then we can take the questions from that. Let's move to third section of today. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is
Is my
visible.
screen visible? Thank you, thank you. So this is a four-phase journey of from idea to the grant of the patent. So first is the ideation, wherein you identify your idea, you check for the novelty, and then you check the government designated websites. They are designated website wherein you and search for the patent whether it is available or not. Somebody's already not filed for it or not. Then you get into the phase two, wherein you prepare your draft, you showcase who is the owner of this patent, and then you go for the filing. Third is the examination, wherein you get the publication and then you request for the examination. You receive the examination report and then you respond to the objections. And then finally, the patent is granted for 20 years and then you move into the commercialization process. So I don't think you can skip any process point here, because then, a legal protection will lose its value. So I'll just discuss one by one. So when you are identifying a patentable idea, this we have already discussed, but I'll quickly take you through this. That so the key question you ask is, so now you have the patent mindset running. So what is technically new in your work? So every research paper doesn't become patent. So subjects can be, you can patent a system, methods, devices, algorithms with technical application, processes also, mechanisms, formulations, and hardware integration. So the paper just explain your knowledge, but the patent protects your application. So these are the topics which we have already covered, what is patentable and what is not. Next step is you check for the novelty. So these are the novelty is mandatory before filing. So you really need to confirm whether similar innovation inventions already exist or not. And these are the websites wherein you can go. So for the beginners, you can check Google Patents. This is the official Indian database. So in past, we call it Indian Patent Advanced Search System. And for the international search, you can check at WIPO Patent Scope. So these you can take a note of these three, wherein you can do a prior search. Then you come down to step number three, wherein you establish the ownership. So is it the faculty filing, or is it the institute filing, or is it jointly shared? You need to check the ownership. Do you have any project partner? So many universities, you need to very categorically mention, you have to very categorically mention that who owns this patent, because a lot of fights later whether when people apply, and then sometimes institute claims that we also have ownership into it. So you need to be very specific while establishing the ownership. Then you reach the drafting stage, and this is, I would say, is the most critical stage, I would say. So it has to be very thoroughly done. So you need to have a very good title and abstract wherein you give a concise name and summary. We've spent a lot of time in the last 3 days that how do you identify a good research topic, and how do you frame it well and write a very concise summary. So it should talk about the problem. And I also gave you the patent opportunity canvas. So try using all of that and create a concise name and summary. Give the background of the existing problem and what is the solution you are proposing towards it. If you can give detailed descriptions and drawings, like say, for example, you are proposing some sort of a hardware, give a detailed description, flow charts, drawings, so that the examiner is able to understand what you are proposing and finally how it is going to work. If it is technical, try to explain in the easiest of the easiest manner. So you will never know in whose hands your application may go. So even if your topic is very technical, try to explain in the most simplest manner. And claims, this is again, the most important, that wherein you tell actually what is protected, what you are trying to protect. Are you trying to protect any methodology, or you are trying to protect your algorithm? So you may be solving a problem, let's say, through a video analytics solution software. So in that, if you're just so video analytics software is a huge opportunity. But within the video analytics software, if you're just filing patent of any specific algorithm, you should very clearly mention it. So boundaries of ownership, what are you going to protect? That scope is very important to mention. So in research paper, let's say for example, you are filing, let's say, patent for around a recipe. And in that recipe, if you are kind of filing the patent of specific cooking method, so just claim that only. How do you file your patent? You should, as I just said, that even before your patent get published, uh, file your patent. File the provisional patent at least. Use when idea is evolving and prototype is incomplete. Early filing, it secures, and it gives 12 months to file complete specifications. And publishing before patent filing can destroy knowledge. File first and publish later. So this is the website wherein you can file ipindia.gov.in, and these are the documents. So I'm not a patent expert. I'm just giving you, the overall architecture towards it. What are the forms you need to give? Form 1, Form 2, drawings, abstract, inventor details, and declarations. This is the publication, examination, and response stage. Normally, your patent get published after 18 months from the date of filing. And if you have any kind of academic urgency and, for your startup, so you can request for early publication also. And then you have to file for the request for examination. So it is not automatically examined. So this caveat here, it's not, won't automatically move into the examination. You have to request for examination. So examiner will check novelty, inventive step, and prior art conflicts. And while you'll get your examination response, you of course, definitely you'll get the objections. You may tend to get objections. Um, It doesn't mean you are rejected. Your patent is rejected doesn't mean. It's just that they are asking for certain clarifications. So you provide proper clarifications, you offer the good explanation, and then you go for the amended claims. If you have to make any amendments in your claim, do go for that. And after all the clarification, amendments, technical explanations, everything is done, and after it is accepted well positively, you are granted patent for 20 years from the date of filing. So it's like a peer review comments. It's a normal part of the process. They'll raise objections, but if you are able to frame logical responses, so it goes through. So after the grant, what happens is you can earn the royalty income. You license your technology. You can license it to the technology industry partners. You can start your own startup. Commercialize your own invention. You do industry partnership, offer consultancy, and create a societal impact. Cost of filing varies depending the applicant type and complexity. Uh, there are certain support schemes also wherein you get within MSME schemes, Startup India, DST programs, and through university or incubators also, you get lot of support here. So common faculty questions. I just framed it that if you have these questions, up to you. Can students be inventors? Yes. I gave you the example of critical solutions. So that's the example of industry, academia, collaboration. From research to real world impact, that's the final message I wanted to give you. A patent is not just a legal document, it is recognition that your research has the potential to create real world value. Uh, so go ahead and create impact in the society. That's the final thought I would give. So that's it. That's that's what I wanted to share with you. Uh, any thoughts, questions, comments? I'm happy to take. I hope I'm able to uh, give you some sort of relevant information from my experience of working in corporate with innovators and university incubators. And so I hope that you all are able to create some impact through your research papers. Thank you. Over to you, Komal. Any questions I will take, and now you can take over.
Uh, so good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Juhi, you are audible. Yes.
Okay. Any queries, anything that you want to ask participants? So, ma'am, thank you so much for all 3 days sessions. And I think all the sessions were very insightful and thought provoking. And on behalf of DIAS FDP committee and from all the participants, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to you for sparing your valuable time and conducting such an engaging and inspiring session. Ma'am, as a token of our respect, I would like to share a token of appreciation to our esteemed resource person, Ms. Rashmi Jain. 1 second, ma'am.
Thank you very much. It was lovely connecting with all of you. We've been a great audience in the last 3 days, and I also got to learn a lot. Thank you so much.
Okay. So with this, we conclude today's session of faculty development program. And we will meet tomorrow with Mr. Venkatesh Bharti as our resource person. Thank you all uh, for your active participation and cooperation. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day to all.